From the north farthing, from the north farthing, from the north farthing. I'm going to
Wow.
mess it up.
Hello, friends, and welcome to an unexpected podcast. I'm Ez,
And I'm Lottie, a.k.a. Rosie.
and we're talking Tolkien.
We're coming to you from the north farthing in the beautiful state of Ohio, in a little town called Mount Vernon.
Yes, this week we're jumping back into the Return Journey Part 2 at Paragraphs Bookstore. But before we do, sweetie, how are you?
I'm nervous.
You did great.
I don't even know why, yeah.
Sweetie, you didn't even say north farting. Like, that was great. You know?
I almost did.
I thought for sure, from the north we come a farting, is what she said when we started this. I'm kidding. You did not. You actually, you did fine.
No, yeah, I'm great. We had such a wonderful day today. We actually oh my goodness.
We what? Huh? What did we do?
We picked up a couple books. I am so nervous. We have so many.
That's great. Earlier, like, we had, what did we call Lane and Sarah that one time?
Oh, yeah. Sane and Lara.
Sane and Lara. Like, we were, I think we were doing an episode or whatever, and I was like, good old Sane and Lara.
Yeah.
Giving you guys an update on Lane and Sarah. We just were like, and we did it again this morning for something else too, like just been flipping our words around a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's because I'm trying to learn German, and you're doing such a great job speaking in English.
I can tell you, I think it's because we did a little change to the setup here, and it looks so professional now that I'm actually intimidated by
Cool.
by it.
Don't you think it's cool?
I love it, but now
Yeah.
I feel like I gotta bring it, you know?
No, you are bringing it. I still have to work on my camera and stuff. So we have some fun stuff. Lottie and I are working on a couple of different, projects and things down the line. We're using sort of, I wanted to do an intro for this. We did the episode prior as well, or 2 episodes ago. I think you and I did an episode. We're going to close it out later, so we're getting kind of used to podcasting. I just thrust Lottie into this, and so she's doing great. She's doing wonderful. Yeah. But no, it is a bit nerve-wracking. Anyway, sweetie, we actually, the Silmarillion, do you remember was this a week or 2 ago? Mm-hmm. We were listening, and we got my car.
Yes.
We got my car back, by the way, and that's going to tie into the story today. There's a lot we want to tell you guys about the upcoming part 2 here, because there's some full circle stuff that has happened. My car breaking down being one of those things. But we got my car back, and in the little CD player is the Silmarillion, the audio edition, which is, by the way, a great tool to go to sleep if you guys need it. I just want to throw that out there. Just a great tool to put yourself to sleep. Yeah, it was fun. So we did that today. What else did we do?
We talked about a lot of stuff. We went around in Mount Vernon. I mean,
Yeah.
Mount Vernon is such a hidden gem. I've been here now for almost 2 months.
Yep.
In a row. So, yeah, we actually just came back from a walk in Ariel Foundation Park, which is beautiful. And I absolutely fell in love. So we just talked about a bookstore, and there's just a certain feeling when you walk into a bookstore.
Right.
And I mean, when you walk into I've walked into Paragraphs Bookstore for the first time, and it's just the loveliest little local bookstore. And you can definitely tell that they pay attention to detail with their setup and their decoration, and they had some little theme right now with what do you call them, succulents?
Yeah.
Little cactuses and stuff, and
right.
They had like mini figures of cactuses and little books how to do your own.
Did they?
Yes. Yep.
Wow.
Right by the register, and I thought that was so neat. Yeah. So
I love how you notice stuff like that. I was like, huh? Yeah. Okay. That's cool.
That was so cool.
Yeah.
And they have a little coffee shop right next to it called Happy Bean.
Right.
That's amazing. And we actually met a couple days ago. We met Max, Cameron, and Cameron's girlfriend, Courtney, at Paragraphs. And then we went over to Happy Beans to grab some coffee. We came back to the bookstore and sat down in some nice, comfy armchairs to have, just a chat with them.
Right.
So that was That was so cool. And they're such lovely people. I'm so glad I got to meet them.
Yes, they are. And you know what's so the full circle on this, guys, is that like we recorded so you guys heard part 1 already. You're going to hear part 2 in Paragraphs Bookstore. It means a lot to me. I've told Lottie about it for a long time. And when we were there recording at Paragraphs, I was telling the guys that I wasn't sure. Remember, I wasn't sure if I'd be able to make it back to Germany. We had all those things going on. You called me. We kind of shared a moment. I was in the back of Paragraphs Bookstore, and you called me. Like, my car had broke down. You had given me some news that was like not great about like the travel and things that were going on, and being able to come to see me. It was a lot. So I wanted to come back there, and I wanted you to meet some of the people that I was talking to at the time, because I had Cameron there, Max was there, and Courtney was there in spirit, you know. So it was just really cool, and they're just good friends. So great friends of the podcast, and Cameron's helped us out with a lot of different stuff. Max has been super generous, and again, folks have checked in there. Some uppers have stopped by and have seen Max at Paragraphs. I think it's a great place. When you're done with that, now Lottie can recommend Ariel Foundation Park, right, to go back there and take a walk when you're done. So
I mean, it's really not far from the bookstore. It's right there.
Yeah. Well, the other day when we were there, was this last week, I didn't realize you could walk out of the park all the way over to the bike trail, like the what is that? Like the little train station trail or whatever. Yeah, but you know the big bridge, like that little train station kind of thing. And then you can hang a left and go right downtown. So pretty cool. But anyway, yeah. Just kind of wanted to talk about that. Wanted to share with you guys that I was able to bring, you know, Lottie to Mount Vernon and meet them, and like it's cool. You've been to Paragraphs Bookstore now, because the first couple weeks I was just itching to take you down right away. Yeah. So I was so glad that Cameron said, "Hey, you know, we've got some time. We're going to come into town," because then it wasn't just meeting Max. You know, it was meeting Max and Cameron and going and getting coffee and all that kind of stuff. So yeah. It was just cool. It was really, really cool. So, okay, we're going to keep this short because we want you guys to get right into part 2. We're trying out our new little setup over here. If you want to check it out over on YouTube, be sure to go over to the YouTube channel and check it out. Thanks again to Cameron for doing the video version of this. You guys will see that as well, too. And that was nice as well, just to talk to the folks at Paragraphs, and they were happy to have him there to film stuff. And I don't know if anybody out there is listening and you need someone for like promotional stuff or for your business, or you want to do a project or what have you. Cameron is a wonderful man, and he's really good, really, really good at what he does. So make sure you check out his website. It's CameronInHanson.com, which you're going to hear in this upcoming episode. We've mentioned like 3 times. We go on about the in there in the middle. I think at the end, I don't know if it was this episode, the past one or the next one, but like we ordered Durko's Pizza. And again, to keep the full circleness going, you and I just ordered Durko's Pizza. Mm-hmm. Remember I told you? And we got the cauliflower crust.
Right.
Wow.
But it was amazing, but it was too good. There's no way that was just cauliflower crust.
Right. It was too good. Yeah, I was like, is this just regular crust? You know, it was good. Yeah, it was great. So Durko's is doing something right, or they're doing something wrong. I'm not sure, but it tasted great. So we're all for it. So anyway, yeah, all right. Just catching you guys up on things there. A couple other updates. We wanted to give you guys a quick update on Lane and Sarah, Vigo, the girls, all that good stuff. They are, as of yesterday, I think, sweetie, right? Right. They are out of Children's Hospital, and they're back home. So if you haven't had a chance to go, you know, follow them or check out some of their stories, again, you can follow Sarah at Sarah Smith 8. And they've got just a beautiful picture of them. Yeah. On day 77, the 6 of us were together again. And they're all there smiling. They've got Vigo at home. And I love that family so much. Yeah. Lane has been such a good friend to me over the years. And Sarah, you know, just, I don't know, they've always treated me so wonderfully over there, and I just feel like, you know, when I see Winnie, I'm Uncle Ez, you know, there's old Uncle Ez rolling in, and it's just a lot of fun. Cannot wait to get Lottie down there when we have time. We just haven't had, again, since you've been here. They've been over in the hospital, and we've met them a couple of times at Children's, and that was it was, you know, good to go over there and just sort of support them. And thanks again to everybody who has been supporting them with all of your positive energy, thoughts, prayers, everything that you guys have done. It's been wonderful. I know they're super appreciative of it. It's just been a really hard time. And really, hence, that's why we're here. That's why Lottie is here. That's why we're doing this episode the way we're doing it, really.
Right.
Just needed to kind of fill in some gaps here, and we want to get through the Hobbit. And, yeah. So, all right. Anything else? Am I missing anything else? I think that's it, right?
Yeah. No, I'm just... It makes me so happy to see the 6 of them together in that picture, and they look so happy. So, yeah. I'm so glad they got to go home. Yeah,
me too. I really am. Yep. All right. Well, friends, we'll let you dive into chat this is part 2 again of the return journey. Thanks for hanging out with us here for a little bit. That is it for us. If you would like to see what's going on in our lives, you can check us out over on Instagram at Fleur and Bill. Blur. I almost said it backwards. I've been saying things backwards, sweetie. I don't know what's wrong with me. Anyways, we got that link down in the description, and we've got some more exciting news coming as well. As always, if you want to stay up to date with Lane and I, you can follow us at Uptalkin' Tolkien. And now with that, friends, let's dive back into part 2 of the return journey.
So we're back
to address the shirt.
Yeah,
it's new, and we've had a wardrobe change.
Max,
Moving.
Real quick though, can you buy these online?
You can't.
Okay,
that's actually better. That's actually better.
You can't. You got to come to the store to get those.
So if you're in the Ohio area or even the tri-state area and you want to come to the famed Paragraphs to get one of these shirts, I would drive miles for this color.
They're nice.
It's a dark, like black mixed with Merlot, and it is. I mean, almost doesn't it almost look black from the certain angle and distance?
Yeah.
But then
when I first saw the light, it almost looks like just like a dark maroon color.
Yeah.
Too. Like I don't even know how to explain it. It does look black in a certain light, though.
I know.
They told me that they picked purple, and I immediately was like,
I would not say this is purple.
And I was like, I won't get that one. The second I saw them, it was like an immediate. I was like, oh yeah, no, definitely
that's the one.
If that's purple,
and then you saw the photo. You saw the photo, and you went, it's like Merlot. And I turned around to everybody, and I went, it's Merlot, and they all went, yeah.
So this is kind of my finder's fee.
It is.
I always need like comfy shirts to wear to the gym that are like breathable like this.
There you go.
That's it, baby.
Yeah, those are nice.
Plus, it's educational.
Teach people about the letter P.
Wow.
Just P.
Okay. All right. Let me. Lord, I don't know if we're gonna get this.
Of the rings.
Like this is not even a long chapter, but by God, we will find a way to make it long.
You had to say it like that.
Sorry. The Eagles, as you had said, had this suspicion.
Yeah.
Right?
Tolkien
Bilbo then finds out. Like, he doesn't know what happened at the end of the battle. He finds out later everything that kind of, went down, that that the goblins had been gathering in great numbers, right? So the Eagles, they too gathered in great number under the great eagle of the Misty Mountains. The Great Eagle. I love how the titles are a little bit more kind of like grand, like the Elven King, right? We don't not really naming some people. We're just kind of saying.
He means Gwahir, everybody.
Yeah, Gwahir.
They are what they are.
They are.
Does it also make you think that there were more of them?
Can we get a shirt that says Gwahir Go?
Gwahir Go.
But a whisper shirt.
Font.
Yeah.
What? Like the bottom of the
or
paragraph.
Like italics.
Right back here.
One of those, like with the pocket teaser, you pull it down.
It's there.
Maybe it was like a moth underneath.
Oh,
wait. So
that is keep it secret, keep it safe.
There it is.
That's insane.
If we see that shirt show up anywhere, we know where it came from.
That's right.
Wow.
Got
Does
copyright on it.
Also make you wonder too, like if there were way more eagles at this time.
Sure. Yeah, they had gathered from all over, man.
Or maybe less came at the end of Return of the King. Maybe there were less. Maybe in this time span they were killed off or defeated, or maybe can eagles lose their way?
I don't
Can
know.
they become
dragons
dark
died
and
out?
twisted? Ooh.
I don't know. An evil eagle.
It's hard to say.
As I said it perfectly, didn't I?
Everything
Evil
could be
eagle.
evil. I feel like anything could be evil.
Yeah.
That's
Someone's
true.
got bad apples.
Evil hobbit.
Good.
Let's call him.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah. Well,
Evil you is me.
all we know is that they they did not lose their way.
Thank God.
They found their way, thankfully, to the Lonely Mountain. But here's the thing, friends. They were still outnumbered. Now, they're outnumbered until in that last hour, Beorn himself appeared.
Yeah.
Shows up, man.
So it's kind of crazy, too, how like eagles are the turning point in Lord of the Rings, right? At the final battle. It's Beorn.
Yeah.
and other shapeshifters, right? Am I wrong about that? Or was he the only one?
I think he was the
And
only
for
one.
this
He was the
battle,
only one,
For
okay.
this battle.
but
For this
but
battle.
later
in the
all
days
of his,
to come.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
All
and
of
actually,
his descendants.
like, yeah, and also like the implication that he turns other men into shapeshifters. Am I wrong about that? I might be wrong about that. We'll get to it.
Was
they
his
all just hung
descendants.
out Nate.
Oh, it was all his descendants.
Yeah, right. He had sons, right? I think it was his sons.
It was his sons, yeah.
And-
And
Okay.
they were always lesser than he.
Yes, like
Yeah.
the trait or whatever it is, kind of like not dies
Is that a
out.
It's
literal
like one of those
term,
things like
sons?
we're like
Or, like,
descendants of.
Disciples.
It could have been other. I don't know. They just says sons, and it's in this chapter actually.
Yeah,
later.
I know it's in a few.
But I don't
pages
remember if
from-
it was actual like sons. I mean, because again, you guys know.
it's
what-
like where it gets diluted.
You guys know
over
what that
time,
takes,
like
right?
so many
Yeah,
generations.
bloodline.
It just
Yeah.
Yeah.
you guys know how
It's like
you
when you
have
see
to
a
make.
really hairy dude, you're like,
Yeah.
that's Bjorn.
I'm trying to make
Yeah.
the point. You have to make sons if you're Beorn, right?
That's true.
That's true.
For the sun to rise.
He needs a wife, I think, is what I'm trying to get.
Well,
to.
yeah. Who's that she bear? Dang.
She-bear.
Right. Let's go.
Whoa.
Wow.
Maybe it
There
wasn't
it
a
is.
bear. Maybe that's why they can't turn into
Hey!
bears. Maybe
Yeah.
it was just
Maybe.
like a normal lady.
Blew it right open.
Just a
Maybe
normal,
they
beautiful lady.
apprentice. Maybe they apprentice with
Maybe
him
it
or
was,
something. Who
maybe
knows?
it was a Goldberry.
Maybe they
Maybe it was gold.
Dang. Maybe Bjorn is Tom. Okay, enough.
Bjorn is
But amazing how
theory.
how big Bjorn comes in here. Didn't want to get involved, and he ends up turning this whole thing around.
Right. and
Crazy.
the crazy. What do you think about this? So, Max, like the idea that there's this roar, like drums and guns. That word slips in here.
Another modern iteration
yeah.
that comes in.
Right.
Those always throw me off.
Yeah.
They throw me off.
It's like he didn't know exactly.
What he was doing. What he was.
Well, again,
Yes.
yeah, right. No,
What,
I mean, really,
what
this
analogy
is,
to make?
This is just him playing around.
I don't
This
want to.
is-
Yeah. Can I take that back? I don't think I want to say on air that Tolkien didn't know what he was doing. Let me
Why not?
back that one up.
Why not?
My
really
street
quick.
cred.
Just
Max
went
is like, hold on.
down the drain.
I might lose my job.
I'll say it then.
All the other stuff has been fine.
If anyone is looking to hire, I suddenly don't have a job.
Yeah. Jeez,
Mark's
yeah.
against him on his resume. Said Tolkien didn't know what he was doing.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
I
Well,
guess-
he was finding his way through it. Is
He
what
was.
you're saying. I mean,
He
it's
was.
like
Yeah.
he's like, how many modern, comparisons, analogies
Right.
can I put in here?
Yeah.
Or
I even circled that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I circled
Yeah.
that too. It was
Yeah.
just like,
well, it's like
that's
the
nuts.
the clock in the mantelpiece at the
clock,
beginning,
yeah.
the pop gun, saying something going
Mhm,
off like a pop
mhm,
gun. There's quite a few in here that are
Yeah.
nowhere to be found in
Yeah.
Lord of the
Yeah.
I
Rings.
mean, sometimes when you want to go in a direction, you pivot. I mean, he's not going to
Yep.
go back and change everything.
Correct.
That's true.
Sure.
Correct.
True.
Yeah. So
Just the
what
way
did you
creative-
guys?
Creative stuff works.
True.
And refresh. I don't remember this. So like when Thorin and company show up there with Beorn, did they? Because it's interesting that he goes to Thorin and he's the person who picks him up, right? And he's the one who carries him back out of harm's way before he charges back into battle. So I was like, I mean, again, he's the king under the mountain, right? So it's he's significant, but God, like he went in there to get him,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
is kind of
And I think what's great about Bjorn in this chapter, especially with the Eagles too, is we get this kind of idea of nature pushing back. Nature wins this fight.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm.
The
Oh, yeah,
Eagles.
that's a great point.
The Eagles,
Mhm.
Bjorn,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
How close is he to nature? He can shift into a bear. So
Yeah.
you get this. They are the people that turn the tide of this
That's a
battle.
yeah. The
great
sun
point.
is
Brilliant.
the sun is
That's a
piercing
great
through,
point.
right? Like
Oh,
the
yeah.
sun breaks through when the
Yeah.
Eagles show up, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
So.
Wow.
Awesome. Yeah. So, but let's see. Now we get to this guy. So where is his name at?
Aragorn.
Aragorn.
Bolg.
Bolg.
Yeah, Bolg.
Bolg.
Son of
Bolg.
Azog or Spawn.
Spawn
of
What the
Azog.
heck?
Yeah.
Who's in the movies?
He was.
Bolg
He
is in the
pulled
movies.
down Bolg himself and he crushed him.
Yeah.
Crushed him.
I think it's Legolas that kills him in the movies,
Yes.
Is it?
After
yeah.
he does the whole like
He like
ice
Oh,
break.
he
they
like-
dance on the
he
ice
like-
waterfall.
right?
Yeah, the stones are falling and he's like
He like
snapping on
runs up air.
Wait, which
Yeah.
one's what? Because
cool.
like, there's the one that Aragorn or Legolas faces, and then there's the
Yeah.
one that Thorin killed. Wait,
Right,
are there two?
That's Azog.
Azog.
Azog is he's actually my lookalike from the Hobbit.
That's true.
I
You
looked
can
just like
cosplay
him.
as him.
Let's see, you
And
should-
Bolg is his son with like the weird like metal
his
patches
son?
and stuff, or Spawn or something. I think.
Are they just
I think
related?
they
cousins.
I think they
Yeah.
say both son and Spawn.
Okay.
in this. I
Gotcha.
think.
Yeah.
I think. But yeah.
I didn't know if either of those people were actually
Yeah.
canon.
Yeah.
right.
little
I didn't know
footnotes.
those
I
were
mean, they-
movieisms or what.
Yeah.
And they-
I thought Bolg was a movieism until I reread
Until
The
you read
Hobbit
this, yeah.
this year, and I went, oh,
Well, this is the only time he's mentioned. It's right here.
Yeah,
Right,
right here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
then
you don't-
Azog, they in the movies they keep him alive when
Yeah.
really he dies in Moria.
yeah.
But I thought it was kind of clever how they did in the movies though, because it seems like he dies in Moria, and then he
Correct.
comes back, and it's like, oh wow.
Doesn't
So
matter.
it's
That's,
almost
that's
like
what Thorin thought. Yeah, he thought he died.
yeah, right, yeah. And but it's almost like maybe especially when you start thinking about like this being from Bilbo's perspective, like maybe he just never saw Azog at the battle, and he really, that it's just interesting how you can justify it. You can see Peter Jackson's thinking of, well, maybe Bilbo just didn't know about it, so he didn't write about it, and Azog was around, and he's the one who actually killed Thorin, and Bilbo was unconscious, so he doesn't know.
True.
It's just kind of cool how he's so good at finding the line.
Well, and so I know we just like diverted from the book and just got into the movie stuff,
typical.
but right, yeah, true. But even he pulled things. Peter Jackson pulled things from Unfinished Tales.
Yes.
Right. I mean, which are relevant. They're happening in this time frame.
Yeah, that's something I've had to. We just talked about this last episode that I have to forgive myself for being so critical on him for, and I think fans in general, like Peter Jackson. I honestly think there might have been the whole allure of more money, making more films, but I think honestly, in Peter Jackson's mind, he was like, I'm going to make fans so happy by giving them more content, making these 3 movies, and putting in other stuff that we're losing the rights to, that I won't ever have a chance to put into a movie ever again. Yeah. People are going to love this. And what did we do? Like most fans were like,
Dragged it.
Jeez.
Yeah. Boo.
Right. Like what a bunch of jerks. Like instead of being thankful.
Yeah.
And what we talked about with the show, that's exactly why we want to kind of change our mindset on it, which is to like, it's more Middle Earth. You know what I mean?
For what it is.
Yeah, like at that point, you can choose like what's canon in your head and what's not. Like it's not official. The books are official.
Yeah.
Nothing else is technically official. Like
That's true.
You can say that the like Peter Jackson stuff is because that's its own thing. It's like
It's an interpretation.
get into like
yeah.
multiverse at that point if you want. I mean, like this is a universe, and then the books are the thing, but then everything else is its own thing. And unless they're actually directly correlated, and people and like the creators say that they are, then they're not. They kind of stand alone.
And then there's even like Tolkien purists, throwing around terminology here, who don't want to look at anything outside of The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings as 100% canon because that's all Tolkien published in his lifetime. I mean, there's literally people out there who are like that, who will argue
because
the
Christopher
authenticity.
Shape it.
They will argue the authenticity of the canon of the Silmarillion.
Wow.
And it's
You're
like
telling me that Santa Claus thing isn't.
Santa
Santa Claus
that book,
one even?
Letters of Father Christmas.
That's
I love
it,
that.
that's
I have that book too.
It's a great book.
I
And all those
got a big one.
illustrations and stuff.
It's stunning.
Spoiler alert, there's illustrations in that book from there.
In that book,
Yeah.
And that one.
Oh, they're so
Awesome.
beautiful.
That's awesome.
The polar bear that gets in trouble and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah. Right.
Well, that's interesting, right? Because if you look at Tolkien, I think purists should have a hard look at this. He was borrowing stuff from Nordic tales and from the Kalevala and from mythology at large.
Yeah.
So, like, if you look at that, Peter Jackson really did a better job than even Tolkien did at adapting something because he stayed truer to Tolkien's world than Tolkien stayed to the things that he was pulling from. In a sense, we all borrow from something. When people get on this, it's like the whole cancel culture stuff we were talking about. Of you have to be perfect or you're terrible.
Like right now, you do. You're not allowed to grow and evolve into that.
Right.
You
if
need
you've
to be
ever made any
right
mistakes,
now.
you're a piece of trash. All right, but the same thing with like with I don't know, borrowing things. We all borrow things from other sources or inspired by things.
I just heard the other day about like, I forget the exact saying, but it's just like, there's a difference between just like ripping something off and borrowing from it to like be inspired. And I think being inspired by something doesn't make it like copying. I mean, if you deliberately do the same exact thing, but I mean like there's all these different, like, for example,
It's endless.
Like stories from like parables and stuff like that. They get the general meaning and like even some of the beats can get turned into like things like the Twilight Zone or things like they're like with a minor twist, and then suddenly they're brand new, or people just don't know about certain things. Like
Absolutely, yeah.
like, over time, like certain stories that you guys might have heard growing up, or like TV show plots or something like that.
Yeah.
I could see something like that gets made modern day, and you guys go, that's not new. That's something I know as a kid, and then I could be like, that's totally new. I've never seen that before.
It's how it all continues too, isn't it?
Right.
Otherwise, we should just stop making stuff.
It's the same. It's the same stories. It's always the same stories. We're always telling the same stories, and that's fine. I mean, it really is.
Yeah, and isn't it crazy too? You and I were talking about this. How it's like it's really us trying to figure out us being a part of this real story. we're all living.
Yeah.
Like we're in the greatest story, man. It's the greatest story that we're a part of.
Yeah.
And we're trying to like make sense of it or like express how amazing it can feel and how low it can feel and how confusing it can feel by all these, like putting it in extremes, but it's all that's what C.S. Lewis and Tolkien would talk about, is all points back to one story, and it's the human existence.
Yeah,
it's
experience.
nuts,
Yeah, it is, and like, step out your door, go live that story. I mean, that's what it's all about. And then the cool thing is too, you can. I mean, like they did write them down for entertainment, right? So this is entertaining. Also, if you're lost and you might need to like find your way, you can dive into here. Like that's still a part of the experience in reading this, which is what is fascinating about reading. But there is a don't get caught too much up in it, and that you know what I mean, like
living life.
Go. And actually, in some of Tolkien's letters, that was the thing. Like this is a story.
Yeah,
it has a purpose. It's a tool. Again, we teach kids, and we sometimes use stories or we use different things to help us along the way. That's okay. But we got to live. We have to recognize we're in this life. We need to live it, and we need to take what we can from these. And yeah. Like that's we talked about the other day. And I thought,
have you guys read Leaf by Niggle, Tolkien?
No, it's
Tolkien's Leaf by Niggle.
It's one I want to read.
I mean, really, what you're just saying. That's the premise of Leaf by Niggle.
See, and we stole it from him without even knowing it.
Bunch of thieves.
We need to read that though.
Bunch of freaking burglars.
We need to read that.
It's a good story.
We got him.
I've wanted
We
to
got 'em, boys.
read his smaller.
Mission accomplished. We got
I've
him.
wanted
They
to read
admitted
some
it.
of his smaller stuff and like his Smith of Wooten Major.
Smith of Wooten Major.
Wanted to read that. The Tom Bombadil stuff.
It's all compiled in the one volume now. Tales from the Perilous Realms.
See, there you go.
Yeah, Smith of
Really?
Wooten Major, Farmer Giles of Ham. I don't know how
You
it's
guys have
pronounced.
it here? Yeah.
Adventures of Tom. No, I just ordered it though for someone today. Yeah.
Wow.
Well,
I had
that's
I had this
crazy.
awesome conversation about Tolkien over the phone today. It was awesome. I loved
We
it.
come all the way here,
Dude, it was amazing.
Not a single.
Unreal.
All you got is this amazing shirt.
All you got is amazing shirt. No,
I'll
They don't have any Tolkien books.
I'll take it,
books.
baby.
No,
No, there's tons right there.
We're surrounded by
no
them.
I'm
Tolkien
blocking
books.
them, so you can't even see them on
We are
camera.
surrounded by them. Actually,
That's so funny.
You got some right
They're
there.
literally everywhere.
I'm actually. This is not actually my copy. I'm being very careful with.
Yes,
all
that
of
is
this,
a
so
store copy.
I'll buy it if I need to.
Oh, no way. That's the one you use, though.
I know. I
Honestly,
forgot it. I said,
That's crazy.
So these guys have said thanks for bringing.
Actually, someone might show up.
That's
and
what I was
buy
about
that
to
now.
say.
If you sign it,
get that episode aired, and then just say, "Hey, Ezra Kurt
sign
handled."
something and put it in there.
Let's
Lightly
go.
used half off or something.
I should just keep it behind the counter until someone comes.
Yeah,
in and asks for it.
Yeah. That sounds great.
Could you
actually.
like smush your face on it so it's got your grease?
Whoa.
Lick it a little bit.
Whoa.
I got a
fella.
golden
Thumbprint.
ticket. Just like put a
God.
Someone shows up and they're like,
I would be concerned. I
Anyone
would
ever-
send you a message.
Yeah,
You'd be
let
like,
me
"Hey,
know.
buddy,
Let me know.
This is what
Anyone
this
ever
person looked
find
like."
the ring we hid, by the way?
Oh my God. Yeah, we
That's
hit
still
that.
out there.
No one's.
Really?
there have been comments of
Yeah.
like, I searched that whole place for hours and couldn't
What do you
find it.
found?
I'll be real. It's
I
not
don't
that
know.
hard.
You
I
went
felt
back
we
and
didn't
found
put
it?
it. No, I'm just
I don't know
saying.
if I could
like,
find
we
it, though.
didn't.
I know where it's at.
Yeah, I know where it's at.
Yeah.
I put it in a pretty easy place. Like we basically pointed the camera at it in our little BTS
Yeah, it's
video. but,
right
like,
at the base of that tree.
Yeah, I feel like
Way to
it's
give it
probably
away.
washed away by now.
Oh, I
by
hope
rain,
someone
but-
goes and finds it.
Yeah,
I hope they do.
I hope somebody like 100 years from now finds it.
You
because-
better
That'd
beat
be
me there
cool.
up,
What is
I
that?
might go
Cool.
get it.
What
Yeah.
if it's a dystopian universe and they find it, they're like, Stefan Fing. And
Are they
think these-
German?
They think these stories. Maybe.
Everyone
It's
speaks
your offspring.
Dystopian universe is
Wait a
German.
It's
second.
your offspring. The
I'm
world
trying
has
to.
ended.
I'm trying to interpret that. And it's just
Think-
not.
They think that these stories were history, and they're like, I'm the golden ticket boy.
Isn't that crazy to think about?
Yeah.
Yeah. That is.
Anyway, we're gonna get down another rabbit hole here.
Yeah.
Well, we already are. Let's
Sorry.
get out of
We're
it though.
there.
Let's
We're
let the
back.
Eagles take us out.
Yeah, fly us home, baby.
Yeah. So Bilbo's just asking, where are they, and so on, yada yada yada. Some are on the hunt, but most have gone back to their eyries. They would not stay here. They departed with the first light of the morning. Dane has crowned their chief with gold and sworn friendship with them forever. Not just like for a little while, not just for the time being. Forever.
Let's call that what it is. That's an alliance.
Yeah.
I mean, I put that. Dwarves and eagles equals
Alliance.
So you think
Yeah.
they only came to the rescue at the end of Return of the King because Gimli was there?
Shoot, it wasn't
Blow
Gandalf
it
that
open,
called
man.
him. It's freaking Gimli.
That's right.
Gandalf turned to Gimli and he said,
Yeah.
Squire Cole.
Gimli, call
For Gimli.
Gimli.
Gimli saw
For
thrust.
Gimli.
They send back the moth. He says, "I'm not coming to save you," and he goes, "Gimli's here." okay. Sorry.
Fire,
Sorry.
go.
Sorry.
They
go.
play back Aragorn's line, Frodo, and it's actually Gimli.
It's backwards.
Flies away over his shoulder.
Gimli is God theory.
Lord, remember when I said that earlier? Oh God. All right. So yeah, perhaps I shall see the eagles on the way home. He's hoping maybe I'll see them on the way home, and I should be getting home soon.
He's ready, man. He's been
Right.
ready for a while.
As soon as you like. It's interesting. He says that, and it takes him some while. It takes some time, right? So he goes around here. We find out just to kind of. These are some of my. You guys can stop me wherever you want.
Technicalities
But like,
here with the dividing of the treasure and stuff.
yeah,
and all that.
they divide the treasure. We learn that the Arkenstone goes down. They bury Thorin, and it's going to lay with him. And the Elven King also, Orcrest is given. It's laid on the tomb, which I was
I
like,
feel like that's a big deal because it's
That's
like an
incredible.
ancient sword.
yeah,
Oh,
I
and
totally
Gondolin's
forgot.
from Gondolin, so it's
Gondolin.
Elven,
Yeah.
which is amazing.
To be fair, I'd probably rather it be in a safe tomb than potentially some other idiot picking it up and
Yeah.
throwing it around into
Yeah.
something.
yeah, like
I mean,
your
what a-
future
what a
son in a
tomb.
dystopian universe, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
that was my thought. I mean, what a tomb. I mean, if somebody
Yeah.
stumbled into that, there's
Got some good treasure in there.
right that sword and the Arkenstone.
It's almost like finding the One Ring
Yeah.
deep in Clear Creek.
It's also
close.
It's also kind of cool that, like, in a way, he got his treasure back.
yeah,
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
did.
it's
Poetic.
Yeah.
with him.
yeah,
he did.
yeah,
Yeah.
and it's also like you think about the old pagan kings who were laid with all their treasure, and they were, even the ones who were sent off on a ship, and
All those Norse warriors.
Yeah.
and
Just want to
kings,
acknowledge also how wholesome it is that Bilbo is like, no, I don't think I can handle that much treasure.
Yeah.
I know,
He's
right?
like, I
Yeah.
maybe just like two. He's like,
He's
if
like,
you're forcing me to take it, I'll
Right.
take like however much a little pony can carry. I guess.
Right.
Right. Two small
Well,
chests.
he's
That's,
talking about being a
that's the
target.
exact words. Two small chests.
two small
yeah,
chests.
Yep.
yeah. Which
Hardly
is
overflowing.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. Yeah, yeah. Good Lord.
Reminds me of something else.
Yeah. Anyway, there is.
Swerved out to that one real quick.
I think we start. Well, if we swerve out of it, Lane will swerve back into it. So don't worry about it. There's the whole 1/14th share of the entire treasure is crazy. That goes to Bard. Bard gets that,
Yeah.
and then he says, "You know what? I'll give you some," and he gives him some. He even gets the necklace. He gets the whole the gems right for the Elven King. Trades those, gives some of those
So
back. But
in the movie, was that like the thing that
question.
like he wanted? Like
desired.
in the
okay,
chest and then
I
clamp
didn't
shut.
read. I didn't read the other chapters in between, like
yeah.
where we left
It
off the
doesn't
last
really
time
ever.
in this one.
Does it
Like,
ever talk about him
Nah.
having a desire of that treasure?
There might
is
be
that just a movieism too?
I
and
could
they
be
just
wrong.
adapted that.
I can't
Someone
remember.
correct me. There might have been. I think there was one line in The Hobbit
Yeah.
where he said he desired that there were
It was more general though.
gems
wasn't
of. There was something.
Yeah.
There was that he desired. There were things or something that he desired in the Lonely
it?
Mountain.
It wasn't like it wasn't.
but it wasn't something specific.
Yeah, it
so
wasn't as specific as in the movie where it's like, oh, you slammed
Right.
you slammed my fingers, and you did a pretty woman on me. Like it wasn't that kind of a thing. It was more like there are things they have that I would appreciate better than them, or that I would. Yeah,
It was generic enough to lay the groundwork for Peter Jackson
To do the
to
necklace.
use his creative liberty
Yep.
and say, here it is.
Yep.
So that's basically the same necklace, is what they're trying to say in the movie.
Yes,
Like,
I would say.
Yeah,
That's what
I
It's
would
the
argue that
placeholder.
this is that from
when
the
they're
film.
talking about. Yep.
Yeah.
Right. So, a couple things just to kind of point out. Good on Dane for honoring Thorin's promise, right, and saying we're going to honor the promises of the dead. You've returned the Arkenstone. Boom, here's the treasure. That whole thing goes down. I'm going to cut to the farewells here. So at last he came. Unless anything else before that, but this is like in the movie too. They did a great job.
I
of
still
this.
cry at that scene. I'm not going to
I-
pretend like I don't. I tear up at that scene.
Yeah.
The Bilbo's.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Mark
this
Freeman.
and I don't know if this is why it happened, but I don't know if you remember this. At the beginning of this book, when we very first started, I was like, reading Lord of the Rings has never brought me to tears, but reading The Hobbit, there was a moment where I was brought to tears, and it was this one. Yeah. And I think it's mostly because of how powerful that is in the movie.
Yeah.
But I wasn't
Yes.
I was caught off guard reading this because I was like, oh yeah, because I haven't watched Desolation of Smaug that much.
Yeah.
So I've seen that scene maybe like 2 or 3 times, handful of times at most. Nothing compared to like anything in Lord of the Rings. Yeah. So when I came into this, I was caught off guard, and I read it, and I was like, oh my gosh, I had to stop. I remember I was reading it. One of the babies was napping next to me, and the other one was upstairs. Can't remember where. It was in the middle of summer, and I cried. I've almost never cried reading a book before, but it brought me to tears, man.
It's
Because
a
what a change.
I know.
This dude didn't want anything to do with these dwarves coming in. They were
Mm-hmm.
stressing him out. He was only letting him in because he had any kind of, society and politeness about him.
Right.
And now it's like, you don't need an invitation.
Yeah.
No.
You know when stuff happens at my house, you come whenever you like.
That's right.
And
Yeah.
that's real friendship. They went from being total strangers who barged in like old friends to becoming friends that could come over whenever they wanted.
I feel like that's all you can kind of hope for in like growing as a human. Like
Yeah.
getting to that point where it's not like an unhealthy thing, but like you've changed so much for the better. Just
Yeah.
like
Absolutely.
That's an amazing. Can we read?
Yeah.
Can we read that line?
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah.
Why don't you guys?
Yeah. Which one is it?
I've
those.
read it. Yeah.
Read it, my friend.
If ever you are passing my way, said Bilbo, don't wait to knock. Tea is at 4, but any of you are welcome at any time. Then he turned away.
Yeah, tease at 4. I mean,
amazing.
they show up, and I mean, he didn't expect them. It was unexpected, right?
Yeah,
and,
that's the other funny thing
you
too.
know?
Is it was at tea, right? When they all started showing up.
Yeah, and it's just
Yeah.
here they are,
and they
right?
were unwanted, and here he's saying,
and now they're welcome.
it's always welcome. You're always
Yeah,
welcome.
always welcome. Which
That's
is,
right.
if you're ever passing that way, stop by. But yeah, I mean, it is an emotional kind of farewell, and the big thing too that kind of caught me was when he says the farewell to the living, but when he turns to the dead, and he turns to the mountain and he bows, and he says goodbye to them. Farewell, Thorn, Oak, and Shield, and to Philly and Killy. May your memory never fade. And like, words get caught in his throat, like he's having trouble here, saying goodbye to them. And it's just all of it. And then there's this welcome. It makes me think too, in the Fellowship, like it was kind of nice to hear about dwarves walking by.
Yeah.
Traveling to
Yeah.
like
Such a
traveling
good
by
feeling.
and
Yeah.
being like maybe
Yeah.
Bilbo having some correspondence and talking to them.
Yeah.
Frodo kind of alludes to that a little bit. I'm like, God dang,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
just
it's
pretty
pretty
cool.
nuts.
Amazing.
Well, and don't dwarves come with Gandalf for the party too?
Yeah.
He's
they
accompanied by
do.
a couple dwarves, and you
Yeah.
and I were always like,
Yeah.
wonder who that. I remember.
Yeah, wonder who that is.
yeah. That, well, those first couple episodes were like, who is that? And maybe
Right.
it's.
Yeah.
Maybe it's it was Tolkien saying this story's not about dwarves anymore. He's not going to tell you, or he's not going to, or maybe it is somebody, and we're just allowed to imagine. Or
Yeah,
a
yeah.
descendant of somebody.
I was gonna
too.
say sons of somebody.
Yeah,
or something.
Yeah, sons
Yeah.
of them.
Yeah.
Bifur, Bofer.
Yeah,
Yeah, you never know.
never know.
Sons of. Yeah.
Getting it on.
Find a
Brilliant.
little she bear, and you do what you can. Imagine a dwarf with a she bear.
No,
probably can. You
but we can't imagine a dwarf with an elf, right?
Can.
We can now.
Because of Peter Jackson. So thank you.
That's the gift he gave to us.
That is a gift.
That's the real gift of
thanks,
PJ.
Pete.
Right. All right.
Tis
So
the season.
yeah, just the elf said they had moved on. So they go back. The dragon was dead. They're happy. The goblins are overthrown. They looked forward to going back and to the Greenwood. I want to say Mirkwood, but Gandalf kind of bids them farewell to the Greenwood, which I thought was kind of cool. Also, there's this bit where Frodo. I'm going to skip around here a little bit, but Gandalf
Frodo?
goes back. Frodo, what? Gandalf and Bilbo, like as on their way back, they stay somewhere for like Christmas, don't they?
Yeah.
Isn't
for
that
Bjorn-
Bjorn's?
at Bjorn's, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Bjorn's.
Bjorn's.
Another the Yule season, the Yuletide.
Yeah,
Another
yeah.
reason
Yuletide.
that this episode is sick.
I was
Yeah.
like, wow,
They
that
just
was
put up the decorations of Mount Vernon for Christmas.
Yeah,
No
totally.
kidding.
What?
Nailed it.
yeah. That was kind of wild. So, yeah, there's
They
a-
were there for all. I mean,
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
assuming
they
they
were
were
there
there till
a
the snow
while.
blew over.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
They were living there.
They were, man.
Well-
And as much as Bilbo wanted to get home, right? I mean, how much have we heard about how he's hankering for home? And here he is at Bjorn's, and he says Bilbo left with regret. I mean, you know,
Yeah.
it's done and over with. He's ready to go home. He can go home. And when he finally leaves Bjorn's house, he's leaving with regret.
Yeah.
I mean, because
That's
it's so
also-
beautiful there.
I was thinking today about while I was reading this quickly about like he's already been gone for how long, and then he has all that time to go back, and then he still has to stay somewhere for like
Yeah.
months.
Yeah.
This is
It's like
is-
I'm ready to go
December to
home, and it's
spring.
like
December to
imagine
spring.
having to travel that far ever in your life. Like,
And this
all right,
is-
time to head on home. Usually, you're like at the end of a trip,
Hour and
like
a
a
half.
vacation.
Yeah.
Like you're like, oh, I just can't wait to be home at this point. I'm kind of over this. I'm ready to be home. Imagine home being months away. Like your adventure's kind of over, but like you gotta spend a
There's
few
still a
months
journey-
just traveling.
Still journey left. This is something I love about Tolkien too,
Yeah.
because we see this in Lord of the Rings too. The amount of time he spends on a denouement or a falling action
yeah, come on, son.
is amazing.
Yeah.
Like I'm not well read, so I don't know if like other fantasy authors do this as well. They might, but it seems like he spends a good chunk of time with like, okay, it's over. I mean, it's over.
Yeah.
And at least alludes to it, especially in Lord of the Rings. There's a ton of stuff that happens after the climax of the book. You can almost say it's a separate book in and of itself.
Ring is destroyed like what, almost midway
halfway
through Return of the King,
because you still have the scouring of the Shire that happens, and then
the whole
everything
return
in between.
journey, the scouring.
Yeah, I mean they pass by
Journey
Saruman
west.
for a chapter. You know what I mean? Like, so it's like
Sorry,
the
man.
amount of time he dedicates to, because it's. I think that's the way he takes fantasy into realism. Is, you know, in real life, you wouldn't have. I mean, you wouldn't just right back to your home and well, we do in modern days. But,
more so, at least.
Yeah, or and I guess in his day he wouldn't have. There would have been a return journey that took a while, and maybe you don't make it at breakneck speed, so you can, you know, enjoy your way back. And
Yeah. Something else I just noticed about the journey and the arc that he takes you on. So in Lord of the Rings, we've got the three, the three books, and when you start off in the series, through a fellowship, we have a lot of singing. We've talked about this in like a lot of singing. And the singing over time fades. And you think about going to war, the songs that are being
your
sung,
spirits are high at first.
and then you get in the battle.
Yeah,
No one's singing during the battle times. Like
it's
they're
true.
not, right? Then on the way home, the songs change a little bit in the tone. And the next chapter is the last, like coming up into this, the last stage is the first time I've seen a song in chapters.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? So you've reached that kind of like Smaug's doing his thing or whatever, and it just dawned on me. It's not like a chapter thing. It's a story thing with him where like you start off singing merry songs. They get a little bit different. There's some history and lore in them in the first several chapters, and then they go away, and then they come back right at the end.
You know who did that really well?
Yeah.
Howard Shore.
Howard Shore.
Have you ever
did.
seen that
Yes,
like
he did.
YouTube video
Yeah.
on like how the song changes over time?
Yeah.
Yes.
About how like the fellowship one builds up, like you guys were saying.
Oh yeah,
And then
they evolve
eventually
almost.
once the fellowship is actually together, it like is in full force.
Yep.
And then throughout it dies down.
And you never
until-
hear it like that again. That's the
Yeah.
only time you hear it that bold and
right.
robust.
So
Yeah.
eventually in the third movie, like when they're almost at Mount Doom, or like when they're climbing the mountain, like that whistle that's going is the
Yep.
first time again that you kind of hear the melody of the Shire theme.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
Again,
Unreal.
and it's actually
See.
well, what was it? They said it gives me chills just thinking about it because they talk about how when they're climbing Mount Doom, the whistle's back, and it's the exact same whistle from the Shire, but it's not the same tune because they
Yes.
can't exactly remember home, but it's a replication of the tune that they're thinking it is. So
I can hear that in my
Yeah.
head right
Lord.
now. Yeah,
it's not the same,
It's
but it
right,
sounds
right
like
before
it.
he talks about the strawberries with
Yeah.
cream. That's exactly where that happens.
Wow.
So
And the
wild.
song is so
it's genius.
it is genius.
Yeah, brilliant.
And Tolkien does the same thing with the songs. The beginning songs are different from the songs you hear at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're not the same songs. It's not like you, and rightly so. You go on this journey and you're changed at the end. You're a
Yeah.
different person.
Yeah.
You're a different hobbit.
You've learned something. You've
You learn
changed along the
something.
way.
You're,
Yeah,
you're,
the whole thing.
You're mellowed in a way. You're a little more sad, a little more happy. It's just a different.
You've lost things. You've lost people. You've gained
Yeah.
people. Yeah.
Yeah.
Such is life, right? It's
Yeah, it
just
is. Yeah.
confusing.
So yeah, I just thought that was interesting, just because I'm looking at this, right here at the end. I'm looking at this next song, and I'm like, wow. And because really, to wrap up this chapter, we stay with Bjorn for a little bit, and then we're out. Like that's it, guys. I mean, there's the cool part was, he had many hardships and adventures before he got back. The wild was still the wild, and there were many other things in it. In those days, besides goblins, and that just lets you go like, what did he face?
I want to know what happened.
Attacked
right?
by a
I
wild
wanna
wolf
know-
or something?
Wolves,
Yeah.
people,
More trolls,
men, trolls, yeah.
A
yeah.
guy named Lame.
Going after those
Crazy dude.
lame. Did you just call me lame?
Yeah, sorry.
Lame.
Every once in a while, I just
Cool.
not you. I was talking about a
Slipping in
guy
there.
named Lame.
Yeah, sure.
Earlier, you said you were well read, and I was like, "No, you're not. You're lame."
Did you say he wasn't very well read?
My name's Will Red.
Oh well.
You misheard.
Sorry, my bad. Am I
Great name.
am I losing my voice? I had to take my headphones off.
It's a little shaggy.
starting
I
to,
like it.
Yeah.
Little
Right
rasp.
now. Yeah.
Woo! I'm starting
Jagged
to
as
lose
those
it.
April storm clouds, my
Good
friend.
God! People are like, "What happened to his voice? He sounds like the old crow." Like,
Too many
hey,
podcasts.
how was? Yeah. What was the old the Raven Rock? Rock.
It almost sounds like a
Rock.
raven's noise.
Yeah. Rock. Yeah. That's Kark. Yeah, that's what I sound like right now.
I just realized that.
It's crazy. Crazy. Last little bit, and then we'll end this chapter. So let's see. In their day, the last goblins were hunted from the Misty Mountains. So this is all about like Beorn's people and his
Cleaning house.
they clean house. Yeah, they just kind of make sure everything's good.
Committing casual genocide.
Right.
How
Yeah,
this works.
no big deal. It was spring and a fair one with mild weathers and a bright sun. Before Bilbo and Gandalf took their leave at last of Beorn, and though he longed for home, he left with regret, as you said, as the flowers and the gardens in the spring and all that. There's a lot to see there. He enjoys that. He loves that in that time. So,
It's been a beautiful place.
Yeah. And then he's traveling back, right? So, and he's with his wizard, and this is cool. So, he turned his back on the adventure. The Tookish part of him was getting very tired, and the Baggins was daily getting stronger. So, like the adventure, he had his fill, right? The Tookish part was kind of going away, and old Baggins was coming back, saying, "Boy, that armchair."
Surprised that didn't happen
sound.
sooner, honestly. Like
Yeah.
I go to like a gathering and I come home and I'm like
Ready.
about ready
Right,
to pass
yeah.
out.
Baggins me. Baggins me,
Baggins
right?
me.
And
For real.
it feels like it's the first time he's talked about his armchair in a while. Like at the beginning, he talked about it, referenced it all the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ready to be back.
Then he
But
gets
it's been
caught
a
up,
while.
yeah.
He's gotten caught up, and that Tookish side kind of took over. And
Well,
Sure.
and to his friends, he's developed, I think, a friendship, and he wants to see Sam wants to see it through, right,
Yeah.
all the way, and just
oh,
Take me back, baby.
dang,
That's
bro.
right.
again, remember.
Don't bring up Sean Astin.
I love. Oh God. Oh my God. The reason I love
Or Cam's
Bilbo,
dad.
Oh,
Cam's
God.
You got issues.
Jesus. I love Bilbo, and I told you this when we were doing the fellowship. I love Bilbo so much because whenever I read the Lord of the Rings, I thought to myself, they all learned this. I was such a fan of Bilbo. I'm like, they all learned this from Bilbo.
Yeah.
Bilbo is the guy who they all revered. He told them the stories.
He's their
Sam,
old
all
Ben.
of them. He's that. He is it. Yes, he is. And so to them, that's their Hobbit. That's the guy who went on the first journey, and we all are like itching to maybe come close to that, and they go well beyond it. And the
Well,
cool
even
thing,
Bilbo, took inspiration from
Yeah.
Old Took.
Took,
right, yeah,
exactly.
that's right.
And it reminds me of the idea that our mentors were meant to grow beyond them. You know what I mean? We're meant to kind of like
That's
a
Yoda.
true.
Yoda
Like,
once said.
Yoda once said it, right? Yeah, we are what they grow beyond, and that is a theme in storytelling with mentors. It's what we should aspire to do as teachers and that kind of stuff. Is like we want people to grow beyond where we are, and again, that is another idea in our culture and society that I think is like
My dad has
help
always
people,
told me that.
you
My
know?
dad's always
Yeah.
said, "I want you to be better than me.
Yeah.
You're gonna be better than I am, better
Yeah.
than I was."
Right.
And it's something like, especially as a parent, you're like, "Yeah, I want them to be.
Yeah.
They're already better than me, but like, want them to continue to."
Yeah,
That's
and
what
that's
you want.
the
You want the
thing
best for
too.
the future,
like
right?
the
So-
spirit of our elders and stuff like that. See, some people get on them and they want to like expect them to have kept up with the technology and the times and the social changes and all that. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
but like sincerely though, they pushed us to be better.
Yeah.
I mean, like, and again, maybe some of it people can say, well, there's just a lot of reasons. Like I don't know. I always feel like it's important to look back and say, we're here for like a reason, and we also are here because they set us up to be here.
It's
and
true.
like, I don't know. I just feel like sometimes
That gets forgotten.
one day we're gonna be old, friends. Ez is already there.
According to him, both of them, we already are.
I got the old gray locks coming in,
As they
and,
say, one day we'll all be skeletons.
old saying. It's an ancient skeleton saying. Old as skeletons. God. Well, guys. Yeah. So I think we need to hear from old Maxwell here,
Yeah.
just
Tolkien
about
story.
Tolkien story.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure. We kind of touched on this a little bit, but I don't remember the films coming out in theaters.
Wow.
So that's. And
God,
I've been
we're
thinking about
ancient.
this as we're leading up into this episode. And,
Because
and,
of age or because of
because of
interest?
age. No,
Yeah.
because of age.
Okay.
Because of age.
He's
I mean,
driving.
just
He's
to
driving the
clarify.
nail in the coffin,
Just
buddy.
to clarify.
Right,
It's just
to
to
clarify.
yeah.
Yeah. No, because of age. I mean, to me, I was young enough to not be aware of them, and so I grew up, and they were a constant. That's the weird part. I don't remember my first watch, and I envy you as much as you
Wow.
talk about your first watch at the Fellowship.
Yeah.
I envy that. I do, because I don't
Remember
have that
time before it.
No,
Yeah.
it just is.
It was always
and
around.
that's cool.
Yeah.
And that's cool. And I remember as early as third grade. I think it was my best bud Nick Blanchard. He was an amazing artist. In fact, we have a book here.
Shout out to
that
Nick.
he illustrated the
No
cover art for.
way.
Yeah, it's right over on the shelf. But anyways, and he used to draw stuff all the time, and I think I used to ask him to draw Legolas all the time. I was like, draw me Legolas, because Legolas is that guy.
Is he your character?
He was.
Yeah.
I saw this thing, and it was like, when you're young, you always say you're an elf. You'd be one of the elves, and then the older you get, you're like, yeah, I'm a hobbit. I'm a hobbit.
Yeah,
it is
man.
interesting,
I'm a
isn't it?
hobbit.
Yeah.
In fact, I wrote in somewhere in here, like with something Bilbo says, I want to get back to my armchair, my books. I put, it's a hobbit's life for me.
Oh, that's so awesome.
Yeah,
That's
but
another shirt idea there.
that's right. That's right. So Lord of the Rings was always kind of there, and loved it. I mean, it fostered that love for fantasy. I read The Hobbit when I was in elementary school. I don't remember what year, and I was like, this is cool, but this isn't Lord of the Rings, and I don't know what's going on. And really, that's where I was with it, and I'm almost ashamed to admit that it didn't like land and stick. I was just kind of like, okay. I read them again. I read Lord of the Rings in high school, and I loved it. I was like, that's great. I was like, that was awesome. And but still, there wasn't a fire. And now I'm gonna move forward quickly, because again, Lord of the Rings was a constant. Loved the films, always did.
Yeah.
College, I was just drowning in schoolwork and drowning in all my reading. I'm an English major, so there's so much to read.
It's a lot.
So much to read.
Yeah.
And I can remember I
Then
had,
you have to like process it and evaluate it and stuff too. And
yes, exactly.
That's
So
not
it-
easy.
Papers on it.
Well,
Oh my God.
and exactly that. And that's when I went, I need to read something that I want to read. And I didn't know what to do. Because that's what it was. It was, I need to read something so I can just read it and enjoy it, and not, analyze it, not break it down and pick it apart, figure out what the authorial intent is. You know what I mean? I just was like, I'm going to read something I want to enjoy. And I went home for a break, and I was flipping through my bookshelves, and I saw my single volume
baby.
Lord of the Rings. I think it's from like 2005 or something.
Wow, yeah.
And I just pulled that off the shelf, and I took it back to school with me, and I carried around this one volume tattered Lord of the Rings
Freaking
for the
huge.
longest time. And and all my friends would be sitting there and they're like, you're actually reading that? I'm like, yeah. And I was just eating it up. I mean, every word. It was like, and that to me, I know I read it. I read it in high school. I read The Hobbit. That was my first
read.
That's the first read of Lord of the Rings. Truly. Was in college.
Yeah, where you're really kind of like, you're cherishing every word, every
Yes.
sentence. You're really into
Everything.
it.
All of it.
Yeah.
And I was amazed, and I was like, that's incredible. And then here's the other thing though, as much as I love that, and I was like, yes, I'm a Tolkien fan, and I love Tolkien, and this is it. This is my favorite book. I stopped there, and I was like, that's it. And then when I started working here, it was like, there's more Tolkien to read. And it was Children of Hurin. Hurin.
Yeah.
Don't ask this guy.
Dude, if there was one book that he wrote that's you could take and just literally turn it into a script, it's that book.
Yeah.
Or
It was
that
phenomenal.
story.
Well,
you
and
could
that-
make it a film like that.
I'll do it.
Cam,
Do
do
it.
it, please.
Do it.
Please.
Yeah.
Cut the 20 years later when
That's right.
putting a newsreel about.
It's right for it.
That's
Yeah,
right.
but I
and
love
and
it.
that was
Sorry.
it. That was it. That when and especially that read of Lord of the Rings in college, and then and then I read the Children of Hurin, and I read Baron and Luthien. I bought them both in paperbacks because right when they were coming out, and then The Fall of Gondolin came out, and I went, oh, hardcover, and I had just bought my Baron and Luthien and Children of Hurin and returned them immediately because here, and ordered a box hardcover set.
Yeah.
You know,
Let's go.
Great Tales.
that's right.
Yep.
That's right. So I got those, and then that was it. I just started picking through everything. I mean, I just love it all, and then I know I showed you guys. I love this story, and I didn't tell the story.
Tattoo's awesome.
Yeah, I didn't tell it purposely
Yeah,
because
yeah.
you guys will love this.
Yeah.
But I have a Tolkien tattoo. It is Smaug.
Yeah.
Again, pronunciation.
Schmaug if you're
That's
Peter
right.
Jackson.
But yeah, that's right. But it's the original. It's the illustration.
I love that.
That's on the inside
Yep,
of every
I
edition
love
of
that
The Hobbit.
illustration.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
so
awesome.
that's what I got. And when I was here, and I was supposed to go to class. That was my next step was class, and I was getting ready to leave, and I got an email that class was canceled, and I was like, cool. And I was like, well, I don't need to be here because the shift is covered, and I was like, I don't know what to do. And then I'm sitting there, and then you guys posted an episode. I wish I could remember exactly which one it was, but it was Frodo and Bilbo's birthday. and you posted an episode, or you posted,
Wow.
or you posted, you either posted an episode or you posted like a LEP update or something, right, on their birthday. And I realized, I was like, holy, yeah.
You know what?
And I said, holy, you know what? And I said, it's Frodo and Bilbo's birthday.
I'm getting a tattoo.
And I was like, and I'd already been contemplating that tattoo. I was like, do I want it? Do I not want it?
Yeah.
Like, that'd be kind of cool.
Sick, man.
And then I got that. I got an unexpected podcast notification saying, hey, Frodo Bilbo's birthday. And I went,
It's time.
it is. I was like, it's today. Not only did I get a notification from the podcast, from you guys, it was Frodo and Bilbo's birthday.
Yeah.
My class just got canceled.
Yeah.
I didn't need to be at work. And it was just like the universe lined up, and it was like, go get that tattoo. And I did. I
did
walked
that day? Did you do like a walk-in?
Get this. Because this was right after.
not easy to do.
This gets more intense. So it was right after shutdown stuff. So things were opening back up.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And tattoo shops, kind of, they had like a rough. They had to shut down
Yeah.
a lot longer than other people.
Yep.
And I walked over and I walked up to the door right up the way, and they had a big old sign in the thing, and it said, appointment only, no walk-ins, doors locked. And I was like, you've got to be kidding me. And I just sat there. I was like, this sucks. And my barber shop is right next door, and I know the guys really well, so I just figured, all right, heck, I'm right here. Let's go say hey. And I just started talking to them. We were standing outside, and my tattoo artist walks outside to take a smoke. And I literally looked at him, and I went, I'll be right back, to my barber. And I walked over, and I went, hey, this is the deal. And I said that story. I said, podcast today. And he looked at me. He goes, I just locked up to go home. And he pulled out his key and unlocked the door and walked in. And we got the tattoo right then.
Wow.
It was
That's
amazing.
crazy.
It is just one of the coolest.
That's
I
cool.
mean, it was amazing. I loved it.
Yeah.
I loved
That's
it.
wild, man.
Yeah. So
I love when they have good stories attached to them, too. When a
Yeah.
tattoo's got a great story attached to it.
Yeah. That's
Talk
good.
about an unexpected journey.
that,
Yeah, baby.
dude,
Right
it was
there.
Yeah. And that's, I mean, really the realization of like, I need to go get this tattoo. And then like under the needle was like, 15 minutes,
Oh,
maybe.
my gosh. That's
That's how
nuts.
fast. That's how like that.
You didn't wake up that day thinking you were going to get tattooed. I bet.
No. Yeah. I mean, it was like,
That's
it was
cool.
It was crazy. I walked back
Best
in here and I
kind.
went, hey guys, I got a tattoo. And they were all like,
What? Yeah.
Just lined up for me.
It was nuts. It was so cool. But yeah, and so yeah, I mean, Tolkien, it just became this thing where I wanna lean on it everywhere I can. I'm told you I'm
Yeah.
back in school.
Yeah.
They give me just like the little bit of leeway to say, hey, you could do something in your essay. I'm like, yeah, let me throw Tolkien in there.
Yeah.
I wrote like 6 to 8 pages. I don't remember exactly about like the Hobbit. It was on the Hobbit and Marxist theory.
Wow.
It was wild.
let's
And when I
go.
started doing it, I was like, oh my gosh.
Oh
it's
my
there.
gosh, that's
It was
amazing.
brilliant. It was so fun. So yeah,
That's
I
awesome.
just all the time, man.
I love when English teachers embrace Tolkien because I had I loved my high school English teacher, but she was like, it's fantasy, it's not classic literature.
Yeah.
And as a high schooler, I was like, you're wrong.
Yeah.
You're wrong.
You're wrong.
And,
I was
and
like, it's
as an
more-
adult, you're still like,
I know.
you're wrong.
I was like, it's more than fantasy. It's
You think
so
that's
much more
changed,
than
though?
that. I'm sure it
Over
has.
time?
It probably has. I think is maybe.
I would
Maybe
argue.
not.
I would argue that it
No?
has. Well, so
Okay, it has.
so
Good, that's good.
I'm going to MVNU, right? And I'm gonna name drop. Yeah, I'm gonna name drop.
Yeah.
Dr. Hawthorne. She's brilliant. Absolutely love this professor. She's really just rounded out this experience at the school, and the amount of times where she stays after class and I stay after class where we're just talking about Tolkien.
yeah.
I mean, all the time.
That's
'Cause
awesome.
she knows
That's
I love
cool.
it.
Yeah.
She knows, and she loves it, and we'll talk about it. And I tell you, I had to have like a consultation meeting with her, and just the other day in her office. I tell you what, it was so difficult to just like look at her because behind her I just see Tolkien and I see like Lewis, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, it was amazing.
Wow.
That's
So yeah,
cool.
the professors do. I think most of my professors they'll talk to me about Tolkien.
Yeah.
They really will.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
brilliant.
Yeah,
They
and
should.
I will say
They should.
in high schools too, like it's kind of been a little bit of a shift in that you can still the lit devices. If you want to teach about literary devices, this
They're all
guy
over the place.
uses them. I mean, like that's littered with them. So
Yeah.
you go. I mean, there's tons of character development, all sorts of stuff. So there's no reason you can't do it. There was. Like, yeah, it's like, oh, we can't teach that. We're not
Stigma.
gonna. Yeah, and I'm like,
Yeah.
what are you talking about? But we can read some.
Well, the crazy thing is like his command of the English language is second to none. So if you're teaching English,
he wrote the Oxford English Dictionary. You know what I mean?
yeah, I
Like-
know he was
like,
one of the biggest
dude,
contributors and editors.
you know,
Like he was in there going, this definition is not quite
That's right.
right. I need to fix this.
Yeah.
Right? The publishers
Yeah.
were sending it back
Yeah.
about the dwarves versus dwarfs, and he's literally like,
It's in the front of this book too.
He's like,
yeah, he alludes to
dude.
that. It's nuts, man.
"Don't tell me what to do."
It's nuts. Yeah, no, he would often
literally-
like his editing changes would be like,
Said
no,
right
this
back.
is not what I'm doing.
Don't do this.
You're
Yeah.
wrong.
Yeah.
Because I'm smarter
Exactly.
than
Exactly.
It's wild.
It's incredible. Yeah. And the only other thing I have to say about, because I want to say one more thing about the paper that I wrote, Marxist theory and everything.
Yeah.
I used.
Do you have a copy of it? I wouldn't be able to understand.
I
it.
do.
I'd love to.
I
I'd love
do.
To, like,
Yeah.
read
I'll
it.
say. Well, and you'll
Yeah.
you'll appreciate this more now. One of my heaviest crutches that I used in that essay as like a source was Tom Shippey's Author of the Century, which I only ever bought and read because I heard about it on the podcast.
Oh, it's so good.
And
man.
seriously, really, when you look at this essay, it's just like, oh my gosh, it's there.
You guys getting any
it's
kickback
incredible.
from that?
Yeah,
Maybe a
hey,
little something from Tom.
Yeah, we're
come hang out, Tom.
jeez, Tom.
Yeah,
You're the
oh,
man.
it was awesome.
We're not gonna like. Yeah, never mind.
Fire you.
No,
Yeah, but yeah. So I used that. It was just a high school freshman class, but I did that like biography on him, and it was the same thing. You like, there's so much information in that book that that's your primary source.
Yeah.
And he knew him.
yeah,
He taught with him.
exactly, exactly.
Like they were known like the friends in a sense. So
Yeah.
yeah,
yeah,
That's cool.
Man, that's an awesome journey.
dude, it was awesome.
That's
It's good stuff.
I
That's
love
good.
It. I love hearing
do love
Tolkien
that.
stories from the source too. It's
Me
great when we read
too.
it, obviously, because we're reading people's words, but to hear
Yeah.
from people's
Yeah.
actual mouths is awesome.
I told Ez when I sent in my
Oh,
Tolkien
yeah.
story via email first. Did you ever read it? Did you read it?
No,
Okay.
but you told.
I told you
me
not
about it. He's
to.
like, hey, dude, there's this.
Yeah, I told you that he
Guy
wrote
you
it,
might know.
and then
Yeah.
and then I went in and I got the message like, don't read it.
Because later he came in the store and I literally
Yeah.
told Ez, and because after that you guys had kind of said you're gonna be on the podcast, and I literally told Ez,
Whoa, I
and
don't
at
know
this
if
point,
I knew this.
Yeah.
well, we started conversing at this point. You and I were
Yeah, so
finally
before
like, "Yo,
last-
what's
yeah.
up?" Because I sent it in before we got
Yep.
conversating about all of this, and
Right.
I finally told Ez, I was like, "Yeah, please delete that." Like, and the reason I asked him to is because I genuinely didn't know if you were gonna remember who I was.
What?
And I literally
you
went-
told me.
I-
You said Max Leaning, and right away I know.
Yeah,
In my,
Inst-
but
I told you
in,
that
in the
instantly.
email I sent, it was so goofy. It was like, "Hey, Lane, I hope you remember who I am." But like, and I'm like
your
trying to,
biggest fan.
I'm like trying to explain how we
Right.
know each other. I'm like,
we used to
remember,
hang out.
remember the Dennises?
Yeah,
really
That's
close
funny.
mutual friends. And-
that's funny.
wow, dude.
Oh, it was
Yeah,
it
no,
was
because
amazing.
like, instantly, I remember like when we talked with her, and like Lane was like, "Oh, absolutely, freaking no." I mean, I had all sorts of stories, and I was like, "Wow, okay, cool." You know,
Yeah.
It was awesome, man.
and then we decided podcast to bring him on and
Pretty awesome.
paragraphs, the
Great
connections.
decision.
And we did
I'm
it.
so glad we did,
And
and
thank you, like,
yeah, you guys.
thank you for making this possible. Thank you for letting us come in. Thank you to Lois for letting this
Yeah.
be in any, like, most store owners would be like, nah, sounds
Yeah.
strange, sounds weird. You guys want to record a podcast
Wow,
with a
and,
couple
and
of
we kind of are strange and
hobbits?
weird.
We are.
Strange and weird.
What better of a place though?
And that's
Yeah.
true. Yeah,
Exactly.
in a bookstore right here. So I mean, that's amazing. And Cam for capturing it all and everything. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
now I got a question. I want to put it in Cam's court. Do you want to
Sure.
share your Tolkien story now, or do you want to save it for the episode where we do like behind the scenes commercial? Because we're still going to do that. We need a behind the scenes like recollection of that day.
Let's go ahead and save it.
Yeah,
And
Look,
because
he's
I
ready
feel
to
like
fall
I already
asleep. You
I
see
already
him?
shared my
his
Sean
his
Astin story.
That's
Oh, that's
right.
true.
So
That's a
let's
good
let it
story.
breathe a bit.
Okay,
Yeah.
And then I'll
Story.
come back.
Okay.
We can do a little BTS.
yeah, we play.
Stuff
That's
with all the
Yeah, baby.
maybe we'll have something else cooking by then.
plus
It'll-
I mean, I don't know. This is like our secret. I mean, we got like a secret weapon over here, guys. If you saw
Secret
this rig,
weapon.
what?
Michael Scott.
Is that the word of the day?
Oh, sorry. Oh, sorry.
Stanley
Secret
when they're
word
playing
of the day?
basketball.
My bad. My bad. Yes. If you saw the rig that I was looking at, that
Ez has
you're
never
looking
seen The
at
Office.
through me, or
Hey, what
to
can I
me.
see what we look like real quick? Continue.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, Lane. It's beautiful.
I know. Watch
Oh,
out.
man.
I
I forgot
kicked it
about it.
earlier.
Do not knock it over,
Am I in
Lane.
frame?
Do
I
not
can't
knock
see
it over. How do we look, buddy? We look okay?
Dude,
There's
they're
a
bags.
ghost.
They're plastic bags.
There's a ghost.
Look cool.
Yeah. Look good? All right.
Looks like the Today Show or something.
That's
On
your
a
date.
set?
Oh,
That's
good
right.
God.
That's right.
Well, anyways, no, thank you to you guys. This has been this is awesome, and it just feels right to like, it's cool because Lane like came back to Mount Vernon, and then we've got memories with paragraphs and just connections, and And then you guys, it's just freaking, it's great.
Since in a permanent set.
That's right. Can I channel some
No.
Tolkien and the Hobbit really quick?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We open at 9 and we close at 6.
Wow.
But you fellas are welcome anytime.
The Dirkos is always hot.
And the Dirkos is always hot.
Wow. Except for
And even when it's cold, it's great.
5, 6, 7, 8, or whatever the phone number is.
Even a lot of we should get paid for this. A little bit free.
That delivery guy was so
Free
nice.
pizza.
He was
Yeah.
freezing cold.
Yeah.
He
I
had the
bet.
phone thing. He was like, I didn't think anyone was gonna be here, man. And I was like,
Yeah.
dude. I was like, dude, bro. I was like, I'm from out of town. I said
Yeah.
every time I'm back, I get Dirkos. I said you're the best. Oh, thanks, brother. I'm like, thanks, brother.
Yeah,
yeah,
no.
brother.
Hey, Dirkos is the best. It's really good. I can't wait
Like,
for you guys to try it.
ice
It's cold, but
that's
we're
gonna
gonna
be better.
It's gonna be better than anything
any
you've had.
Stromboli hot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also,
I mean,
I want to
honestly,
remind everyone
together.
listening and you three gentlemen sitting here that my car still is broken.
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna
I'll
be-
drive you home.
I'm gonna
We're actually
Steve-
going to leave Ez here. There's a basement.
So
and,
Oh
and
my
we're just
God.
gonna,
Lock
we're
him
just
in.
going to leave him down there.
whoa, that's a little. Yeah.
He
It's
said,
fine.
all right.
Oh, I'm
Yeah,
not going to
with
stay with
me.
you.
I don't
like,
know. He's been
Lane's
going to the
gonna
gym.
stay.
I don't know if we can
The-
overpower him.
The basement. I mean, right. You hear me? I'm dying right now. You hear my voice? I'm just totally dying.
Aw.
What's going on?
You got
Um,
a podcast to do.
He's
a couple
following
hours.
after his car.
No.
Yeah, he
He
is.
is.
Yeah, that's what it
Bury
is.
you out in that. We'll shove you out. Put an orc wrist right on you. We'll lay a microphone on your chest.
Yeah, a little Arkansas microphone.
And to you, king of the podcast, bid you farewell.
Pod.
The
They were calling me the
Podfather.
Podfather earlier,
I go back.
which I thought was
So
funny.
I was like, "What happened?" Ez died. Put him in the
died.
car.
It's a shame.
We left him
Wait,
there.
he died or his voice? Same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
all
the
of
car.
them.
Might as
All
well.
of them. We pushed them away.
It's all the
Beautiful.
same.
Everything died.
We all cried.
All right, friends. This has been interesting. I have no idea where we are on time. I don't even care
4
because
hours.
we just want. It's at the end here. It's just kind of like we're
You're
just
pretty
having
close.
fun. Yeah,
If I'm being honest,
that's what I
yeah.
thought. We are just having fun, and again, you guys, thanks so much. This was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
awesome being here.
We will do it in the
thinking
future.
of me too, 'cause
You
you're
guys
welcome.
will probably. I also want to put this out there for folks. We may or may, huh? What did he say?
Oh, go ahead. Keep talking.
What'd he say?
Steamrolling.
You didn't think him.
Go ahead and keep
You
steamrolling.
didn't
Thinking
think
him?
Lane.
Oh, I didn't think.
Yeah.
I said, did
How
you thank
could
me too?
you?
Holy.
That's very cool.
Let's all be quiet while you drink.
No,
Go on, sir.
my voice has died. So
He's not gonna do it.
you guys go on ahead without me.
What if we did a shirt? Just another shirt idea. As his voice, 1987 to 2021. Just black.
It's a shame.
Black.
Gone too soon.
I want to see if this podcast can end without me because I'm just fading away.
What attitude? What a diva. Such.
Fine.
Never
He wants to
jumping
see
out
if
of
it
Thank you.
can, if it can
Fine.
live.
He just doesn't want
Thank
to
you.
thank me.
Thank you for being here, Lane.
You know, you've
God
never driven
dang.
this far to come podcast with
Son
me. I'm
of
just
a
letting you know.
gun. I know.
It's like pulling teeth around here.
Shame on me. Shame on me. Lane does this at the end because he doesn't want the episode to end.
Don't want the good times to
That's
end, bro.
where he's at.
It's
So.
all good times, though. It's kind of hard
Um,
to separate it all.
It's true.
all right, though. Hey, so we will be next time. We'll be finishing up with the
Final
Hobbit.
chapter.
Final chapter, man.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Oh, maybe the whole thing.
Yeah. Might
keep-
never
we
hear
are
it
hitting-
again.
We keep hitting at this. People are like, "Ooh, what's going on?" Yeah,
What's happening?
People have been asking, so we've always been cryptic before. We're like, oh,
You know what they say?
we really
Leave
might.
him one more.
that's
Yeah,
Show business, baby.
Come on now.
It's like
Come
MJ,
on.
walk away and then you just come back and play for the Wizards and Brewer and everything.
Yeah, what a joke. Come
They
on,
meant Michael
we're not
Jackson.
doing. We're not doing that. Oh my god.
As his dad.
MJ.
You don't know who Michael Jackson is as?
No,
Making you look like
no,
an idiot.
Dad, because I grew up in a Christian home where you couldn't listen to that kind
It's
of
like one of those
music.
moments where dads are like, yes, I'm going to be able to make fun of my son and all his friends are going to laugh at him with me.
Right.
That's what your dad was like. He was like, you know who Michael Jackson is, right, guys?
Finally paid off after
Right.
all this time.
Right.
He's playing the long game.
You know, I went home and I turned on Michael Jackson and I got grounded instantly.
Yeah.
Instantly grounded.
It
Yeah.
was a setup.
Jeez, cow.
He was testing you. Will he go try to discover Michael Jackson?
Said we
That's
got
a
him. We
trap.
got him, boys.
I was playing Billie Jean, so that's probably why.
Turn on the radio. He said, "Shh, "You got him, boys."
Mission accomplished.
Mission ac-
God,
accomplished.
Cam's been killing me with that. Oh Lord. All right. Well, hey, shout out to all of you out there listening, putting up with all this crazy people and friends. That is it for us this week. We are done. I forget how to end these episodes. We're going scriptless.
If you like scriptless,
Scriptless.
if you and no scruples either, scriptless. If you need a friend or have a fax machine, just send us one. Send us the Shadow Fax. We'll see you next time. And remember,
Bilbo knows.